Welcome back to Lard TV. Here we are again, back in the Gembloux gap. Don't know how lucky you are.
No, I'm dreaming about this now. Every time I go to sleep I have visions of the Gembloux gap in my head. I do.
That's good to know, mate. Right, well, I don't, but I am here today, and we are doing it for real, mate. This is not a dream. This could be your nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
A lot of pressure on me because I've lost so much time at Perbais. I pushed on in the last game and just scraped it. It could have really gone wrong. But as it was, it didn't. Thank God. And so here we are, and we are at Villeroux. And my objective is to blitzkrieg through here and get a couple of units off your table edge. Interesting scenario. It really actually has the right feel for this stage in the campaign because it's so important for me to get the pressure on, and if I can push past you before you can allow any of your defences to stabilise, it just represents the impetus of my attack, zooming through with a Panzer Division.
And realistically, as much as I'm really feeling that I'm under the cosh now, those first few games where I was able to blunt you are behind us. I lost some heavy casualties in the last game, and I'm really feeling that I'm about to receive it with both barrels. So I guess we should get on with it.
7 men and a senior leader, I believe you lost.
Yeah, exactly.
2 men I lost, so a bit of an imbalance there, which is all in my favour. Let's get started. We've got a patrol phase to play. Let's roll for our force morale and see where we are, and then we can get on with the game.
Now, as the French player, I've got some concerns. Obviously, I was beaten in the last game, and I lost a lot of men that aren't going to come back on the table. So the result of that is that I'm going to be 7 men down. Plus, I've lost a senior leader, which really worries me because obviously I know that I'm going to need my senior leaders to be active and doing things on the battlefield. So what do I think about for this game? Well, I know that Rich is going to be pushing on. He's going to be pushing on quite hard. And I know, very conscious that I've got nothing to defend against any armour. And I can hear the clanks of those nasty beasts possibly in the distance. So I get a feeling he's going to be getting some armour coming on. So what have we gone for? On the basis that I'm down for a senior leader, I've chosen to take from the support list an adjutant, because that will help me to get men onto the table. We also know that it's likely that Rich is going to be deploying Stukas. Stukas were deployed extensively in this campaign. It's reasonable to assume that he will again be using Stukas as an attacking option to slow down my deployment. So what I'm going to do there is take on some anti-aircraft machine guns. I would have really liked to have taken some anti-aircraft artillery, but I've only got 9 support points available to me, and whichever way I juggled it, the fact that I'm a senior leader down really makes me feel that I need to keep the adjutant to ensure that I can at least get men on the table. So the anti-aircraft machine guns will help me, hopefully, to at least ward off some of the Stuka attack and mean that I can deploy men onto the table. So I've got the adjutant and the anti-aircraft machine guns. Then, on the fact that I know that Rich is always a little bit scared of getting his big men hit, if you like. He has a track record of losing his leaders. So I've gone for a sniper team just to really make it possible that we can have some fun with him and scare him, and who knows, maybe even take out some of his senior leaders, because that's going to be really important. So the sniper team is I think a 2 points of my support list. So I think in this campaign I've got some open ground that the snipers can be active under from shooting out from the building. So hopefully we can get some of these senior leaders with a sniper. That would be hilarious if we could kill these big leaders. And then the other option I've gone for is an anti-tank gun. Now there's 2 anti-tank guns available to me. I can go for the smaller 25mm or the larger 47mm. I really want to go with the 47mm anti-tank gun because I know that it's going to be capable of taking out anything that he brings on, more or less, and at least give me a chance of blunting his armoured fist. So I've got to hold him here. When it comes to the jump off points and the patrol phase, I need to try and just keep a line. I don't want him to be able to sneak round any of my flanks, so I want to be able to hold a line of jump off points so that I can at least push forward, so that he has to come on in the centre of the table as best I can. I don't want him sneaking down the edges. I know that his brief is to get troops off the table, and I don't want to make that easy for him. I want to funnel him through the middle and hopefully put him under fire when he gets there. So the support options for me, as I say again, the adjutant, really important to get men on the table, the anti-aircraft machine guns to keep those Stukas at bay, the sniper team to take out his leaders, his senior leaders, and really to rattle his own morale as an individual. And finally, that big anti-tank gun that I hope is going to do the business for me and make sure that we can stop them in this location, and hopefully stop them without losing too many extra casualties, because I'm already men down in this platoon, and I'm worried about the fact that I'm going to have to fight the next platoon with the same group of guys.
Well, it's an interesting one, this. I'm in two minds. The first option is to select fast moving armoured vehicles that can just zoom off the table, especially under the cover of a bombardment and a shabby Nazi trick. Really a coup de main type operation. The second alternative, based on the fact that I know that I did some real damage to Nick's platoon last time, is to lead with my infantry and try and identify exactly where the enemy is, before then using some fast moving vehicles to get them off the table, because the key in this scenario is I'm really just trying to get two units, or in this case potentially vehicles, off the table edge to my right. Based on that, I think I'm going to go for the audacious version, which has some risks, but at the same time the risks will be to support units, so they won't be affecting the morale of my core platoon. So I've gone for two SDK said 221 armoured cars. That comes in at 6 points. I've gone for a Panzer 1, which comes in at 3 points. Good value, Panzer 1, because you've got the twin machine guns there. I've gone for the red dice. I'm going to be having a lot of support options on the table. I want to maximise my command and control abilities, so the red dice is a must, and that's with 2 points. I'm going for the Stuka bombardment because I want to stop Nick deploying onto the table, and if I can take advantage with a speedy move off the table and really just get the game over and done with in the first few phases, because those wheeled vehicles are going to be fast. They come on and move immediately, as opposed to tanks which just come on, and on that straight section of road they can be rolling 3d6 and doubling that, so we could be almost on that road junction before Nick can react, hopefully. To back that up, I've gone for a shabby Nazi trick. Now that didn't pay off last time, but what are the chances of it not paying off again? The ability to shut down one of Nick's jump off points is going to be key, especially as I'm going to be pushing round on the far side to try and push Nick's jump off points as far this way as possible, to keep him away from that road exit over there. So those two I'm quite keen on. Now I lost 2 men from my platoon, so what I've done is I've dropped the 5cm mortar. That is no longer part of my core platoon, but with my remaining 2 points I've chosen a 5cm mortar as a support option, so that's my 18 points. Ideally I'm not going to bring any of my core platoon on the table, so my men's opinion will hopefully improve with me, and equally ideally I'm going to get a fast victory at low cost, so that my boss is going to start thinking well of me. And that's where we are at the moment. Unfortunately I still get that -1 on my force morale, but let's hope that force morale is not going to be an issue in this game. With luck it's going to be fast and furious. Without luck, depending on what Nick can pull out the bag, I mean if Nick blocks that road with a tank or an anti-tank gun, well maybe I have to rethink, and at that point I'll be standing off my armoured vehicles and using them as a base of fire and manoeuvring the infantry platoon off that. We shall see. Okay, so I'm going to roll for my force morale. Remember I get a -1 on this. I've rolled a 6, which would normally be 11, but that pushes me down to 10. Nick, you roll
I'll roll
for
my
yours.
force morale.
A 2.
2.
So let me give you this rather dinky little French
Thank you very much.
marker, which means that on a 2 you're at 8. So
Yes.
a good start for me. Now the question is, how many moves do I get before the game begins with my patrol markers? I've rolled a 2, which means I take 1 move with my patrol marker. Could have been better, but
Could have been better. Could have been
better. But because I have the higher force morale, I actually then take the first move. So I'm just going to head off there. So there we are. That's the patrol phase started. Nick, all of your patrol markers are over there.
Yeah.
On that junction, by that junction. So let's see you start off.
Okay.
And we'll get going.
So push it one out that way.
Push it real good.
Push it real good.
Right. Okay. So we locked down there.
I don't know
aren't
if that is locked down,
we?
is
No,
it?
that's locked down further back there, mate.
Okay, that'll do.
There we go, you're locked down there. And I'm pushing this one around here. And I'm going to push this one to here and lock that down.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll start putting out some of these markers so we can show the units that have been locked down.
You'll go?
Yep.
Nope, hang on. I think I might have. No, they're good.
Okay. I'm essentially going to double that one up on there to lock that down.
Push that one right up into there.
Right, so that's locked down, I presume.
Oh, I don't know if it is actually.
It's more than locked down, mate. You've got to go a bit further back.
Oh, sorry, you've got one in right in there.
Yeah.
Put it in there then.
Okay. And I'm literally just going to go like that and lock myself down, so I'm all locked down.
Okay, so that's that done.
Right, so now it's a case of placing our jump off points. Well, my first one I'm going to place right here because I'm already on the table edge.
Okay. So I'm quite near the back of this wood here, so for me the furthest away is going to be down here, I think.
Back there, yeah.
On that one.
Okay.
So I'm going to go. I'm going to go with it there as well, I think, possibly.
Right. Okay. And my next one, I don't have a lot of options here, and to be honest with you, I kind of push myself down, so I'm actually going there with that next one, which is generated by that one.
Okay, the next one is going to be so through that line there, which is going to put me back on this road corner here, I think.
Okay, and I'm going to place my final one over here behind this cover, generated by that one and that one, kind of at the extreme, but that's keeping me deep, just so I'm not putting all three, hanging them all out to dry, and risking them.
So my third one, again, I think I'm going to go deep with it. I was really tempted to go over there, round to the left, but, and I might, because you've got a line through there.
Yeah,
so I
absolutely.
can put one in here, I think.
Back in the wild woods.
Back in the wild woods.
Right, okay, so let's whip our patrol markers off the table and we can have a look and see where we've got to. As we can see, I've basically pushed my jump off points right the way over to the bottom of the map. But the good thing for me is, whilst that looks a bit odd, it actually does do exactly what I'm hoping to do. I've got a jump off point so that I can deploy troops into cover in the wood. Obviously my tanks and armoured vehicles are going to be coming on the road anyway. I have kept a a jump off point deep, so that if I want to start deploying a base of fire there with things like the 50mm mortar, I've got that in a good position where it can see down the road but also across to the woods. So that's a really successful patrol phase for me, most importantly because I've been able to push myself out to the left, and Nick's not in a bad position, but if once I get through those woods, I'm going to be very, very close to snatching his jump-off point and dominating that road. The issue for me that obviously I'm worried about is maybe any anti-tank weapons on at that junction. And I'm not really worried at all about the position over in the woods, because I just don't think that's going to affect the game whatsoever. Right, well now we have done our patrol phase and ascertained where our jump-off points are. It's time for me to unveil one of the most exciting support options, which is the screaming sirens of a Stuka attack. Now, one of the reasons for choosing this is
predictable.
I think it's going to be good for my objectives in the game, but the other reason for choosing it is that we completely ballsed it up in the last game and thought it might be a good idea to choose it again to show you how it should really work.
That's really unlike us to cock anything.
I know.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't think it's ever happened before, mate. So I think we got away with it.
I think we got away. Nobody noticed.
The interesting thing to note here is that Nick actually selected some anti-aircraft machine guns as part of his support options. Now, they don't actually deploy on the table, but they do give him some protection from my Stuka attack. So we're going to be rolling with some minuses on the effect there. When your troops deploy on the table, you're going to be dicing to see the effect of any shock on those units.
Yeah.
That's done with the D6. Well, you apply a -1 to that, which is quite an important saving, because obviously the less shock the better on your units. Yeah. The other thing is we're going to roll for every building on the table to see if it's been hit in the Stuka attack, and on a roll of 5 or 6 normally the building would have suffered some damage, but you can ignore 1, 5 and it's your choice. So we're going to go through them. So we're going to pick that small house over there. That's a 1, nothing has happened to that. So we're going to go for the big barn at the back, that's a 3, nothing has happened to that. We're going for the grey house at the front, that's a 1, nothing so far. And the big farmhouse, which is a 2. So Stuka attack completely ineffective. Unlike last time where we had pillars of smoke billowing across the table, it looks like they haven't done any damage to the real estate, but let's hope they've done a bit more damage to your troops than last time, where apparently they missed completely.
They must have hit the buildings and we were in the fields. So this time they may have hit the fields where we are. So we'll see. Let's find out when we get to that part.
Let's do that indeed.
And of course that means that it makes it uncertain all the way through the game. Even if I deploy, later on in the game, it's still got that uncertainty.
Well, that effect is only happening in the first phase, because it's representing the immediacy of the Stuka attack. So do you hold troops back?
Yeah.
And then hope that they come on unshocked and hope that the first turn is a short one. Well, let's roll the first set of command dice and find out. I've rolled a 6 on my white dice, which today is masquerading as a red dice, so that counts for nothing. On my real dice, I've rolled a 5, which is 1 point on my
chain of command thing.
Now that's the magic word, mate. Now I've rolled 3 2s and a 3. Now the 3 2s are not really what I'm looking for at this stage in the game. However, I'm going to use one of them to deploy an infantry squad onto the table over in those woods, and I'm going to use this 3 to deploy one of my support options. So let's do that now. Okay, well, I'm deploying a squad of infantry down here into the woods, and I'm going to be putting them on tactical because I want to protect them as much as possible. And then with my 3, I'm going to be deploying a Panzer 1 onto the table, and they're going to be coming on within 6 inches of that, so I'm actually going to deploy them behind the wall.
Here we go, 5 dice. I'll be using green for the French. Don't know why, it just seems
garlic,
fair.
mate, garlic.
Garlic is green, is it? No, okay, a 1, a 2, 2 3s and a 4, which is quite a nice hand actually, gives them lots of nice options, the full TED almost. Very well. So we've got the one. Well, that would allow me to deploy my sniper team, which is quite a nice idea. Or I have a team on their own. By the reorganisation of my squads, I have a team that's just an MG team on their own, which could come on with that. 2 3s, a 2 and a 1. And for now, well, I think the only thing I'll probably deploy is a sniper.
Where are you putting him, mate?
So he can shoot on those guys over there.
Where are you putting him?
Over here, I guess. Right there.
Now remember, if he's firing out of a window, he's got to be firing with a...
Don't know if there is a window. Let me see if there's a window.
There's no window, mate.
No window over there, is there? Well, he can't be peeking out the chimney.
He's not Father Christmas, mate. Or Père Noël, as you may say.
Could be shooting from over here.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, absolutely.
Over there in the woods. That's not such a silly idea.
No.
Let's put him over there. I want to get him on.
Okay, so you want to roll the dice to see if he comes on because of the Stuka bombardment?
Rolling a d6 and I rolled a 5.
Right, so that means he arrives quite happily.
Okay, so here he is, put it over here.
Right, now because Sniper is not actually visible on the table, it's just simply marking the area where he is. We don't actually roll for shock on a Sniper because Snipers don't swing like that.
No. Yeah.
Okay, anything else or are you just going to fire with them?
I'm just going to fire with that.
Right, so roll a d6, see what the effect is. So you're getting a +1 to hit, so basically you're hitting on
a 2, which
you miss.
is not enough,
right.
sadly.
Okay, and is that the end of your phase?
Yep, that is the end of my phase. I need to ask a question though. What's the terrain in that wood? Can you run through that wood?
No, I can't run through that wood. These are pretty dense woods.
That's okay, so I don't need to worry about you closing my jump off marker down in this phase. So
No.
I'm okay to wait till next.
Right, however, you do need to worry about...
Oh, double phase!
I've got
Now that's
a double
careless.
Pahazi. Right, so I've got a 1, a 3, a 3 and a 4. Okay.
What are you going to do, mate?
So, well mate, what I plan to do is this. On a 4, I'm going to bring on my senior leader and he's going to get that squad moving. And then on the 2 3s, I've got some funky fun up my little sleeves. Shall we see what that is? So I'm bringing on my senior leader there and he's going to get them to move through those woods, as you know. Oh,
very
double 1, right. So they edge
coming
through the woods slightly, accompanied by him. However, the next support option I'm bringing on a 3 is SDKFZ 221, which is...
For the benefit of the camera.
The benefit of the camera, which looks like an armoured car. So what they're going to do is they're going to move at speed down the road because the advantage of a wheeled vehicle is it can move immediately. And we're going to deploy 6 inches in and then we're going to roll our 3d6. So we've rolled 11 and that is going to allow them to move 22 inches down that table.
Bonus on the road, does it?
Bonus on the road of being able to double its move as it's a wheeled vehicle. And with the other 3, I'm going to bring on an SDKFZ 221, which looks like an armoured car. And again, he's going to roll 3d6 and he's going to roll 11. So we've got a bit of a traffic jam happening here.
Dukes of Hazzard.
It is, rather is, isn't it? So we're zooming along there and the next phase is mine.
Well, we could be
however,
by lunchtime.
We could be in the pub by breakfast. However, I've got a 1 left. Do I bring anything else on?
Why would you want to do that?
Well, I wouldn't. So we're going to go for it. We're going to roll again. Right, so I've got 1 6 this time. I've got a 5, which is 2 points on my chain of command dice.
Oh, that's not a great hand for you, mate, because you've got 2 2s and 2 4s.
Yeah.
So you are going to struggle to activate those armoured cars.
I am, mate, I am. But I am going to not struggle to activate those infantry who move 9 inches through the woods. So we're going to push them down here, right up to the edge of the woods, which that's annoying that I wasn't able to move those armoured cars because a double phase perfectly timed, especially as an opportunity for me to seize the moment, has been robbed. I was robbed.
Good.
And that's
the end of your phase.
No, because what I'm going to do is I'm also going to bring on another infantry squad in those woods and a senior leader, and he's going to put them on overwatch watching your sniper. Right, Nick, that's me. Bit disappointing now. I was really hoping to be banging down to that crossroads, but it wasn't to be. Your go.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of yeah. That was a scary squeaky bum time there when you rolled that double face.
Was a bit.
It was a bit, mate. That's oh, blimey.
3, 2, 1, 1.
Yeah, two ones, a 2, a 3, and a 6. Well, the 6 means nothing.
Yeah.
But the 1 and the 3, okay, well they're useful. Have I got everything that I need to be able to do what I want to do? Well, I'd like to better bring on my anti-tank gun.
Ooh, right.
I think.
Where are you going to bring that on,
so
mate?
I've got 2 choices, haven't I? The flank shot is always nice.
Yeah.
That's a really nice place to be. Or I could just be here in the middle of the road shooting straight up it. I think the flank shot's always nicer when it comes to taking out tanks.
Okay.
Or even light armour as they are there.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so we're going to bring on, use the 1 to activate the sniper, we use a 3 to bring on some infantry, and the 3 I think will activate the...
You're combining the 2 and the 1 to bring on the anti-tank gun.
gun.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Well, you do that.
Right. Well, should we do the sniper first?
Yeah, go for it.
Because he's more fun.
And he misses
He
again.
missed again. Now we need to see if these things come on.
We do. So let's roll a dice for... Which one do you want to do first,
Let's do
mate?
the anti-tank gun first.
Let's roll a golden dice, mate.
A golden
literally,
dice.
literally.
2.
No. Niet, tоварищ. So my sticker attack had pretty important effect there because...
It did. And the other thing I'm going to bring was infantry section.
yeah.
And let's see if that comes on.
It does.
6.
Where are you bringing it on, mate?
I'm going to bring one over here.
Oh, no, you're not.
Here we
It's
go.
Shabby Nazi Trick Man. So Shabby
Dun,
Nazi
dun,
Trick Man
dun.
arrives. Hello, hello.
Well, last time, Shabby Nazi Trick Man.
Surely Shabby Nazi Trick Man can't fail again.
Let's see. What do you need for him to succeed, Rich?
Anything but a bloody 6, mate.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Yes, Shabby Nazi Trick works, so they don't arrive.
Oh,
Hurrah! Would you care to place my Shabby Nazi Trick by that point while I roll my command
see,
dice?
this is the joy of playing the French in this campaign. The Germans get twice as many support points
Yeah.
as you.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing comes
Right,
on
so
when we
look
want to.
at that. A whole lot of love. A 5 puts one of my chain of command dice. Right, a 4, that's the senior leader. I've got a 3, I've got a 2, a 2 and a 1. Well, with my first 3, I'm going to activate my little tonk.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Why wouldn't I do that? Who zooms down the road at incredible speeds to the junction and shuts down your jump off point.
It does. Yeah.
And then with the 2 and the 1, I'm going to zoom down the road with my little
another
tonk.
Same.
Who they really are. This is like Torvill and Dean. They're so coordinated. It's
Really? I was
quite
thinking more
impressive.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Okay, so with a 4, the senior leader is going to... sorry, I needed to check for when you fired your sniper to see
You did.
if those teams spotted him.
Yeah, yeah.
Neither of them did. I rolled a 4 and a 1 and neither of them spotted them.
So what do they need there to spot the sniper, Rich? Just to demonstrate that you know the rules here.
Well, mate, what
For
I'll
the
do
people
is...
that are watching,
Rather
know if
than
you know the
just
answer.
say it so people might forget it, I'll have it come up on the screen below. Yes, I believe the first time a sniper fires, I need to get a 6 to spot him.
I think that's probably
I
right.
think that's probably right. Right, we'll ask the bloke who wrote them later. Right, so okay, so on the 4, my guys are going to go forward from the edge of that wood, and they go 10. Well, that's important.
It's terrible, actually. It's not important. It's bloody awful.
It's not terrible, mate. It's
The
terrible.
great thing about this game is I might not suffer horrendous casualties. I might have all my force available to me for the next game on the basis that none of them are going to get on the table in this game.
So we have shut down 2 of your jump off points.
Is there a record for the world's fastest ever game of Chain of Command?
I don't know, mate, but
I think we could be about to see
I
it.
think we could be about to set it. But who knows? Because you, my little garlic munching chum, are next
Well,
sur la table.
I am next to the table, but I have
French.
2
French.
jump-off markers over there, both of which are closed down.
They are.
And both of which are the only things between you and your objective.
Yes.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens, mate.
Ah,
2
just in
5s.
time. They've signed a peace treaty.
Yes, they're wheeling out
Yeah.
the railway carriage as we speak.
2 5s, so that's 2 on my chain of command. A 6, a 2, and a 3.
Oh.
So I can't fire my sniper this time.
No.
I get 2 of my chain of command dice.
You do.
The only thing I can potentially do here is try again.
Yeah.
Because these 2 jump off markers are shut down.
Yeah.
My one over here is the only one that I can use.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can bring that AT gun off.
Voila. Roll that golden dice.
A 6.
You do. But let's see how much shock he gets,
Yeah.
mate. I'll roll the dice for you there. He's got 4 points of shock. But actually, because Nick chose the anti-aircraft machine guns, that's reduced to 3 points of shock. But nevertheless, he can still come on and deploy and fire. That 3 points of shock is going to be critical because that's going to give him a -3 to hit. Now I'm small, I'm fast, not me personally, but the armoured car. I'm a partially obscured target, so I need a 7 for partially obscured. I'm small and fast, so that becomes a 9. And Nick's got 3 points of shock, so he needs to roll double 6 to hit. Nick, do you feel lucky?
No.
Bonne chance, bonne chance.
Lady luck.
11.
11. Not a bad effort. That.
Saved by the Stuka. So again, that
Saved by
Stuka
the
bombardment has done me good. And now I'm going to roll the dice. And I've rolled 5, 5, 5, 4 5s. So I have a chain of command dice and an extra one. I've got a 3 and a 4. Well, on a 3, my lead vehicle is going to roll 2d6 because he's got to go around the corner, but he's still going to double it. So that's 7, that becomes 14. He's
failed his test though.
He
didn't indicate at that junction.
I think you might be right there. Mate.
Typical German drivers.
These guys here on a 4 are going to run like the wind. And they go 9, heading for that exit point from the table. So this is absolutely pell-mell dash for victory, really, mate.
I'm loving it, mate.
There's nothing else I can do, but the great thing is I have got that chain of command dice. So really, it's down to you. What can you do to stop the Nazi onslaught? That's not me personally, I'm quite liberal actually.
I don't know what the French word is for bugger all.
Ils ne passeront pas, mate. That's what you need.
Bien sûr. Well, I have a 5, a 4,
a 1 and a 1.
A 1 and a 1. Well, the 1 and the 1 are no good to me.
Not a great hand, mate.
No, not a great hand at all, is it really?
No.
Let's see if Mr. Sniper can do something. That's
Snip,
the only
snip,
thing that I can do.
Snip. Let's see if Mr. Sniper can sneap. He's missed again. But I've got 2 groups who are trying to spot him. Let's see if, yes. So the machine gun group get a 5. Well, I don't know whether it was a machine gun. Let's roll. 1, 2, 3, it was a machine gun. It was. No, sorry, it was a rifle group. So they're going to shoot at him and see if they can get him. And we've got 2 hits on him. So roll your dice, Mr. Stinky.
A 1 and a 3.
No effect. But we've seen him now and we can fire on him. So back to my phase. We roll those dice. I've got a 3. I've got a 4. I've got a 1, 1, 1. So on the 4, my senior leader is going to rally off the 2 points of shock on those infantry and run them off the table, which they manage on a roll of 8. Then on a 3, the vehicle is going to roll 2 dice and double it, and it goes 12 inches.
Off as well.
And let's see if that gets off.
I think that's enough.
I think you're right, mate. Well,
you got a hanky?
I don't even want to ask why.
I want to go home.
That was
me home.
Interesting game, very fast game.
Yeah.
Obviously the result that I wanted, but I think it highlights the difference between a normal sort of club night game and a campaign game. I mean, the nice thing for us is that was actually over so quickly we're going to be able to go on and just reset the table and play the next game. So on an ordinary club evening, a game that's this fast is never a waste of time. Or we could even just get out our tanks and have a game of what a tanker on this same terrain, which might be fun to do and film.
It's now waterlogged after my tears have been ebbing into it for the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, what was the effect there? I think
interesting game, yeah.
What won it? The Stuka attack. I was very disappointed it didn't batter up some buildings, but that's just because you like to smash things up when you've got Stukas.
Yeah.
You just feel like smashing the crockery. But ultimately, the effect that the Stuka had was far, far more important. It stopped you bringing on your anti-tank gun.
Yeah.
When you did bring it on, your crew were so shocked from the impact of those Stukas that they missed. Missing on an 11 is a pretty special thing to do.
Yeah, it prevented me from deploying there in the second phase. Of course, I had a chance to deploy there in the first phase.
Yeah.
That I chose not to take on the basis that I'd have time for you to move up.
Yeah.
And of course, as it turns out, I haven't had that time. The Stuka attack has seen to that, and also I'm actually not too unhappy about that, because if I had deployed that one squad there, they could well have been overwhelmed, annihilated, and your victory could have been bigger than it actually was. Yeah,
because ultimately I didn't kill anybody, which
my men quite like.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I mean, your men's opinion of you has actually gone up by one because you protected them. Your CO's opinion has dropped slightly down to 0, but nevertheless, you're still in the realms where it's not affecting the amount of support you're getting. It's not affecting your force morale. My CO's opinion has improved. It's at -2, so I'm at the point now where I'm not getting any minuses on things like support options, and my men's opinion has actually gone up to +1, which they don't think I'm a superhero. Sorry, it's gone up +1 to -2.
Yeah.
They don't think I'm quite the imbecile that they thought last time. They just
You've made up for it, haven't you? Actually, the last 2 games have really levelled it back out again.
Well, by protecting your men and not getting them killed, they do tend to think better of you for it. So my leader's feeling pretty sociable, so he's going round handing out the cigarettes and the Coca-Colas or other beverages are available. Whereas you're still feeling pretty relaxed with your giton and bottle of Vino Collapso, and or it'd be Van de Collapse. Because whilst you have been beaten here, you can quite see that the French commander would say this is an indefensible position. If I lose another load of men, I'm going to be in even more trouble in the next game. And of course, in the next game, you get 3 men back from the field dressing station, so you're not going to be 7 men down. You're going to be 4 men down. And let's roll the dice, and we'll see about you rolled a 6, so you've got a new platoon sergeant.
Excellent.
So your platoon is looking a lot better for the next game.
Even so, that's leaving it to the wire, isn't it? Actually, I wanted to give you a bloody nose here, obviously, but I suppose if you're going to lose, well, that overwhelming though it is, to have the men available for the next game in the campaign is going to be really good for me.
Yeah.
Imagine fighting a bloody battle here, still losing, and then fighting the next game with a further reduced force.
Yeah. Losing and therefore losing the table, and therefore losing more men than I lose. And I had a fair amount of firepower on this table. I mean, I was saying before when I was talking to the audience on my own that my plan was to try and do exactly what I've done and rush this down with the armoured vehicles. But if I hadn't been able to do that, if I'd had a bit of a nasty shot, there's a lot of firepower there. They would have been a pretty good base of fire, and then I could have slogged on through with my infantry, because you were short of support, because you're basically just trying to make up numbers in your platoon.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to deny you the sneak down the side of the table trick, which is, I know, one of your fortes. So I tried to make sure my jump-off markers would at least minimise your ability to do that. But you were happy to accept that edge of the table jump-off point.
Oh, I loved it. There. Yeah, I'm more than happy with that.
And starting from the middle there, well, I would like to have gone a bit more right, maybe.
Yeah.
Ifs and buts.
Yeah. But there we are. So we're on to the next game, which is effectively the Germans breaking into the French gun lines, which is the last position of the Perbais Gembloux Gap line. After that, it's open country all the way to the Dyle. Well, it's not actually, it's fairly wooded ravines, but it's there's all you can put in front of us then are pretty makeshift forces. So the Germans are feeling pretty confident that there's potential to get a victory here and outflank the whole of the British Expeditionary Force, which would be a monster result. which doesn't really bear thinking about, to be honest with you. But there we are. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing the to's and fro's, ups and downs of how a pint-sized campaign can work. We're going to reset the table and get on with the next game, so we will be bringing that to you before very long as well. Hopefully you've enjoyed what you've seen. Don't forget to leave your comments below. Don't forget the thumbs up, Linda, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon with another game in the Gembloux Gap.